Yeah, very, very worrying wait. Rhiannon, thank you. Well, Dr. Paul Williams is from the Department of Meteorology at the University of Reading. He joins me now via Skype. Good morning to you. We heard there from Rhiannon saying that the Environment Agency have dodged the bullet thus far, but is this type of weather something that we're simply going to have to get used to?
I do fear, yes, that it could be the shape of things to come. I mean, we know from very basic physics that a warmer atmosphere can hold more water vapour. In fact, for every 1 degree Celsius of temperature rise, the atmosphere can hold 7% more water vapour, and climate models are telling us that for every 1 degree rise, it will rain 2% more in a global sense. So I do fear that the weather patterns we've seen over the past 6 to 8 weeks could be the shape of things to come, and are predicted to. This is the type of weather we're predicted to see more often in future as the temperatures continue to go up.
So climate change is in effect, basically influencing this current weather pattern. The scientists, are they the people that we should really, that the government should be really listening to now, and how to deal with this in the future?
Well, yes, that's right. I mean, of course, as a scientist, you would never say that a particular flooding event or a particular rainfall event was being caused by climate change. That's not a valid thing to say scientifically, much in the same way that you'd never say that a person who developed cancer, that cancer was caused by their smoking. I mean, they might have become ill anyway. So we can never say that the weather patterns we've seen in the past 6 to 8 weeks are caused by climate change, but we can say that they're the sort of thing that the climate simulations are telling us will become more often. And yes, I think, I work here at the University of Reading with many climate scientists, and it is frustrating when we develop the science to the level where it's able to make useful predictions, and for the political establishment not to take those predictions as seriously as perhaps we would feel they ought to.
And do you think they're guilty of that they haven't taken the predictions seriously enough in the past?
Well, I think, unfortunately, sometimes it takes an event like this to wake people up. And I don't know whether it's appropriate to talk about the bright side of the current floods. It's obviously a dismal situation for very many people, but perhaps if it wakes up people to the effects of climate change and the probable increase of events like this, then maybe that's one kind of bright lining to this very bad cloud.
No, I understand what you're trying to say. Let's get back to the detail. Where exactly are these storms, these present storms, coming from?
Well, the storms that affect us in the UK in the winter, they are born, if you like, way out in the Atlantic Ocean over towards the US and Canada. And what's going on there is that to the south, you've got tropical air, which is very warm. The surface of the ocean is very warm, so there's a lot of evaporation. So there's lots of moisture in that air. And then that warm, moist air is colliding with sort of polar air from the north, which is obviously much colder, drier. And when those two air masses collide with each other and mix together, the warm, moist air gets cooled down, and precipitation or condensation, and then later precipitation develop. So that's how storms are born. And of course, once a storm is born, it gets tracked along by the jet stream. And unfortunately, the jet stream has been locked in a particular pattern for the past few weeks, where it's sending these storms right towards us in the UK. And it's been locked there in that pattern. And we're all waiting for it to change, of course.
It hasn't as yet, so more of the same on the way. Dr. Paul Williams from the Department of Meteorology at the University of Reading, thank you for your time this morning. We want to take you to a clip of the Prime Minister, David Cameron, now talking about the predictions for the